Floorspar can be an unpredictable city. But fluency doesn't mitigate its problems. In some ways, it amplifies them. This is why we're deployed. But we've seen better days.
Then why are we just now debriefing?
This mission is not complete.
I only know of her. Our lack of data collection is a problem.
Valdez, I'm aware of your investigative talents. Braxwell spoke highly of you, and that's why you're on this team. Local law enforcement handles itself very well. But there are those with abilities. Some believe themselves to be good. Others don't even attempt to act as if they are. Either way, we're involved. Not everyone will agree with our status. But that can be said for anything. May I remind you both, we're Alpha Core, and failure is not what we do.
Yo, what is up, everybody? I hope you are doing well. We are, of course, live. And, man, what a day it has been. What a week it has been for me. I've been very busy, but this is a highlight of my week as we get to return. I believe this is episode 4 of Rip and the Silverback. I am, of course, live with the Silverback himself. Mr. Ass, man, how you doing, man?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Love this time of the week. Love it.
Yeah, we got some stuff to for sure dive into. It's been a busy week. A lot's happened with Hollywood stuff we're going to be discussing. Before we get going, let me thank each and every one of you guys. We are I believe like 25K away from 1.1 million with Alpha Core #1. So I appreciate you guys. We had a massive sale, that my Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale that we had. Was massive for us. So appreciate everybody that got in on that. Next week, officially, that stuff is going to start being shipped, which is kind of crazy to even visualize. Thank you all so much for the continued support. We really do appreciate you, man. And it's a lot of announcements, a lot of NDA stuff I'm sitting on that we'll announce soon enough. But it's just been looking at this company, man, and our trajectory right now. I'm having the absolute fucking time of my life. So I want to thank each and every one of you for that continued support. Again, we'll have some conversations surrounding some future content soon enough. But I gotta dive into this because I need Ash to educate me on a little something here. Doctor Who.
Yeah.
So I would consider myself a normie. I know a little bit about to the level I know of Star Wars, right? Where I know a little bit about a little bit, but I'm not as versed, right, as some of my colleagues here. So if you don't mind, for the audience and myself, explain what the fuck is going on right now with with Doctor. It take as much fucking time.
Okay.
Maybe we spend the next hour of the show going through this. So take as much time as you need to explain what the hell is going on with Doctor Who.
Okay. Well, let's get a couple of big pieces of information out. Doctor Who originated in the 60s in the UK, William Hartnell being the first Doctor. And it ran for 30-something seasons through to, I think, 1989, when it was eventually cancelled. Low viewership, and the new control of the BBC hated not just sci-fi, but hated Doctor Who, so we couldn't wait to get rid. 1996, I think it was, America had actually taken over the rights. One of the American networks had taken over the rights to Doctor Who, and you got yourself the Doctor Who movie, TV movie. It was essentially a pilot for an ongoing series that would have occurred. Didn't do great in America because they didn't quite get the Britishness of the Doctor, and they moved him over to America and stuff like that. And it was once again shelved until 2005, where a Welsh gentleman called Russell T Davies resurrected Doctor Who from the ashes and made it an absolute phenom. Brought it back with Christopher Eccleston as the Doctor. You're probably aware that the Doctor goes through life cycles, dies, regenerates into a new person. So it's an event. It's always been an event to have them regenerate. It was announced only a couple of episodes in, 2 or 3 episodes into the coming back of Doctor Who, that Christopher Eccleston would be leaving at the end of the first season, and the Doctor would be regenerating into what would then be known as the 10th iteration of the Doctor. Turned out to be David Tennant, who was a really good up-and-coming actor, just appeared on a TV show here called Casanova, and it was sort of like his massive breakout role. When Tennant took over as the Doctor, he just captivated the hearts of everyone, from sci-fi lovers to normies to guys to women. He was young, handsome, energetic, charismatic, everything that you could really want in one of your lead roles. And Doctor Who just went through an absolute resurgence. It blew up in America. It'd never been so popular in America. And after 4 years of being at the role, he abdicated, I guess you could say, and passes it on to a chap called Matt Smith. Again, another young actor. He was only 26 years of age, I think, when he was cast as the Doctor, and I think he was 27 when he actually appeared on the screen as the Doctor. And again, young, handsome, charismatic, energetic, things that people can get into. Storylines were fun for the most part. There's always crappy episodes here or there. It's always the case with any TV. And the companions were always fun. Normally young, attractive. So there was just everything there: sci-fi, fun, adventure, romance, or at least the sort of hinting of it. Then when Matt Smith left to do Hollywood, I think Andrew Garfield was just like, dude, come over Hollywood, man, because they were really good friends. They needed to find another Doctor, so they passed it over to Peter Capaldi. Seasoned actor, Scottish actor, phenomenal actor. Most people in the UK would have known him as Malcolm Tucker for In the Thick of It, the most absolute foul-mouthed politician. He was the whip, wasn't he? He was the chief whip. There's this just incredible comedy show called In the Thick of It, which just mocked the shit out of UK politics. Didn't matter what side you're on, It was just one of those great shows that everyone was a target. And Malcolm Tucker was the hideous, horrible, but wonderful a guy that kept everybody in line. So he took over as the Doctor, and he, just like Tennant, was a massive Doctor Who fan since a child. So he really, as an actor, just knew what he was doing with the role, how he's going to portray the role. Phenomenal. The showrunner and Capaldi left, and the BBC started to look for a new showrunner, and they got a guy called Chris Chibnall. Chris Chibnall was on a TV show, I think it was Blue Peter, kids show, when he was a kid, and he was talking and whinging about Doctor Who then, and they gave him the showrunner role, and one of the conditions that he had was, I want the Doctor to be a woman. And because the BBC is now the progressive BBC, it's no longer the people's BBC, it's the far left ideological BBC, they were like, no problem. No problem. So they gave the role to Jodie Whittaker, who had appeared in one of Chris Chibnall's TV shows called Broadchurch, which was actually starring David Tennant as well, which was about, which very dark, murder mystery type of thing. And he brings one of the most miserable characters from that show over as the Doctor. And before she's even filmed a scene, she immediately says that Doctor Who has always been catering to the male gaze.
Of course.
And, Doctor Who fans are just misogynists and, fucking yawn.
Boring, yeah.
She knew nothing of the history of Doctor Who. She hadn't watched any of Doctor Who. She phoned up David Tennant because she knew him from Broadchurch, and basically did a very bad impression of him on screen. Hideous. She was awful. There was obviously big interest in seeing the first female Doctor, so the rating spiked, and then they fucking fell back to earth just as quick. And by the end of her tenure, which was only 3 seasons, she had some of the lowest ratings of Doctor Who's history. Never mind New Who. She was the lowest rated in the New Who era. But even going back to the original era, some of the lowest ratings that you'd ever seen there. Then people were pretty much done because the episodes were dull, boring, preachy, stick waving, white man bad, all this absolute dog shit. All the fun, enjoyment, interest, intrigue, romance, all of it, the whole shebang, gone. Just gone. It was a miserable, miserable affair. So Doctor Who actually got cancelled. But Russell T Davies stepped in and he said, I'll do it through my company, Bad Wolf Productions. And then when he took it over, Bad Wolf Productions, I think, was immediately bought out by Sony. And then Disney wanted to get in on the New Who because Russell T Davies was returning as showrunner. The guy who started it all off in 2005, beloved by the fans, who said I'd never, ever going to return to Doctor Who. Nearly killed him, just the amount of work and all that kind of stuff. So there was a moment of hope that he was actually going to come back and save Doctor Who from this disaster that it was now in. One of the biggest things that Chibnall had done was completely rewrite the whole history of Doctor Who. Doctor Who was now no longer a Time Lord. They were a little black baby that fell through a portal and was found by a woman in STEM who killed them over and over and over again to learn the secrets of regeneration. But because a woman did it, apparently that's okay and good. Creating the Time Lords. And apparently there's been thousands of iterations of the Doctor before we've even got to William Hartnell, who was the very first Doctor in the 1960s. I want to kill myself.
Sorry, I'm making you live through all this again. I know. My apologies.
It's like fucking PTSD. You know?
My apologies, man. I know
the bomb hit.
This is rough for you, man. My apologies.
So we had a big question for Russell T Davies, and that was, who's the first Doctor? Because obviously, if he says it's William Hartnell, then we know the Timeless Children's gone. He's gonna write that away, and it could be written away. You could do, it's a TV show. You can write shit like that away. Oh, it was the Master. He was tricking the Doctor all along. Blah blah blah. I don't care how contrived it is. Fucking get rid. But Russell T Davies cast his Doctor, Ncuti Gatwa, a gay Nigerian Scotsman. Okay. If he's any good, okay. Okay. You do you. And then, because that news came out quite obviously, unofficially, somebody leaked it. They were kind of caught off guard at an award ceremony, red carpet. And the first thing that we see is Ncuti Gatwa stumbling all over himself, trying to call the Doctor they, while constantly calling it him he, because he's a man. So that was not a good sign. And then it cut to Russell T Davies, who was telling the reporter that the Conservative government in the UK needs to be ousted immediately and out of power. And I thought, wow, that's a good episode of Doctor Who. Then things went a little bit quiet. People were kind of nervous. Few shots. They announced the new companion. I think she's 19. Young, pretty girl. Pretty blonde. So we're like, okay, we've got a Doctor in the 30s. A companion that's going to be in her early 20s by the time it comes out. You know, Rose, the initial companion, was meant to be 18, I think, when the show first started. So, you know, the dynamic, okay. Again, so it's sort of like tentative, but okay. And then a few weeks ago, Russell T Davies did an interview about the Timeless Children. Somebody said, what about the Timeless Children? A lot of the fan base not happy with the Timeless Children. Are you going to retcon the Timeless Children? Are we going to get back to Hartnell being the first Doctor? He said, no. He said, I would never write away my beloved friend's story. It stands. The Doctor's a little black baby that fell through a portal and was murdered over and over again by a woman in STEM to unlock the secrets of regeneration. Okay. Well, fuck yourself. I was done. I was out. That's it. That's my deal breaker.
That's it.
Hartnell's the first Doctor. I'm out. And then we have a charity event every year called Children in Need. It's like a telethon event on the BBC. People phone in, pledge money for Children in Need. Worthy cause. Not going to diss on Children in Need. There used to be a tradition of having a Doctor Who sketch that was filmed specifically for it and would be canon, be canonical to the series that was ongoing. So with Jodie Whittaker regenerating back into David Tennant, returning as the Doctor, which is very rare, but the Doctor can wear the same face that he's had on before through a regeneration cycle. So we were initially thinking Russell T Davies is doing everything he can to repair this, but there is a big villain, probably one of the main, if not the biggest villain of Doctor Who's history, called Davros. He's the leader of the Daleks. Everyone knows what a Dalek is. Exterminate. Got a plunger on its fucking arm, you know. And Davros is mutilated, part human, part, whatever race, Carrick or whatever it is. Human, part Dalek, and he sits in this life support machine because he's just a mess. And even the Daleks are humans that have been altered to a such a disgusting state of DNA, you know, that they're just blobs with tentacles, but they originate from human beings. And he's got 3 eyes. His 2 eyes here are like sort of like closed up through skin, and he has this Dalek eye now on his forehead, unnatural eye. And so this Children in Need episode was going to bring back Davros. Okay, Russell T Davies has used him before. He did a very good design for him, and in walks this guy. Walks, no life support, perfectly normal human being. Looks like a Nazi. He's got the costume on, like the symbols there on the collar. You know, essentially an SS Gestapo looking officer. But no life support, no mutilations, just a regular guy. And so we're like, people were like, well, this must be set before the accidents, you know, before the testing, before all of this. And Rusty was no, this is Davros now. What? Why? Well, you see, Davros was a wheelchair user. And we don't want to associate people with disabilities as evil. So he's no longer disfigured or has a disability, because there's a history of disabled people being portrayed as evil. So in the first special that we had this weekend, he put a woman. There was a woman in a wheelchair who actually had guns and rocket launchers, but she was good. So if you see a disabled person in the street, Eric, they're probably going to blow you up with a rocket launcher.
Yeah,
but don't worry.
Apparently that's how this works now.
Yeah. So obviously people are just like, this is stupid and patronizing. And my God, do you have absolutely no respect for the disabled then if you think of them as evil? Because when I go down the street and I see a person in a wheelchair, I don't think, wow, I wonder if they have created a race of genetically altered genocidal maniacs who are going to go around the galaxy wiping and ethnically cleansing everyone. I normally go, oh, it's a bummer. They can't, dunk. I always say, don't get up. Which they listen to, never, what? So the special happens, the first of 3 with David Tennant. The first special happens over the weekend, and one of the Doctor's old companions returns for the episode, and that companion now has a daughter with a penis.
Okay.
And every 2 minutes, the show has to say, she's beautiful. Because we can actually see them. So they have to tell us she's beautiful. And every few minutes, there was a reference to the fact that the daughter was not originally a daughter. And and this companion had also got rid of her husband's name and taken her own name because fuck him. And the daughter, the daughter who's called Jason, who's dead named in the show. Are you fucking bored yet? I am. The daughter who's oh my God. They also decided not to take their father's name.
So the kids don't have the name either.
So the kid doesn't have the father's name either. That they've got the mum's name too. Because fuck that bitch. Fuck that cuck. So every 10 minutes or so, we get a reference to the fact that they're a very special person, and it's just sledgehammer after sledgehammer around the head with absolute full on Stunning and Brave and everything that made the Doctor and Doctor Who fun, all gone. It's all now complete and utterly agenda driven garbage. And the Doctor was berated throughout the course of the whole episode by the women and the woman with a penis. And the big zing at the end was, we can give up our power because we're women, and you can't give up your power because, and I quote, you are a male presenting Time Lord. They mentioned, oh my God, there was a whole segment on them talking about pronouns.
I think I saw a clip of that.
Mm-hmm. I did. I killed myself. Unfortunately, because I've watched so much Doctor Who in my life, I actually regenerated.
I just regenerated,
back to life, which was really, I was not happy with that. And there was also a segment where they did a thing about binary, because it was when.
So they just checking all the boxes.
Well, the binary was actually in the show referring to ones and zeros, but now in the show it's referring to gender. So Donna was referring to herself as the binary because she was a mixture of human and Time Lord, and the daughter with a penis was saying, "I'm non-binary," which is actually biologically incorrect. But don't worry about that, because it's all made up anyways. I mean, sci-fi. It's sci-fi I'm talking about. Sci-fi, obviously. And everybody laughed at it because it was fucking pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. And it did 5 million views. David Tennant specials tend to do 10 to 12 million. No problem. So it barely did more than Jodie Whittaker's run as the Doctor, about 1 million more. And there's still 2 more of these episodes, specials, 60th anniversary specials to go before Ncuti Gatwa, the little gay Nigerian Doctor incoming. Scottish as well, apparently. Until he takes over. And
so we haven't even got to the good stuff yet.
Oh, well, no, there's good news. There is good news. The good news is when David Tennant goes and regenerates into Ncuti Gatwa in 2 episodes' time, we're no longer probably going to be lectured about pronouns and gender ambiguity. We can be lectured about how white people are horrible instead.
Mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, keep the hate diverse.
Yeah, there you go.
Keep the hatred diverse. That's what I always say.
This is fucking remarkable. So yeah, considering that there hasn't been that replacement yet, has not become a doctor, well, I guess officially. Well, this could get better, and by better I mean worse.
Oh yeah. But I don't know if anyone's going to be bothered to watch it.
Fair enough.
Judging by what they just saw. Even the BBC gave it a shit review. And it's on their fucking station. But the website gave it a shit review, calling it preachy, and they quoted the critical drinker.
Nice.
Because they said it does nothing more than acts as a vessel for the message. The message.
So
how'd that work out for you, hey? You ready to dive into New Who?
Yeah, I'm actually stoked. Fucking look, it's interesting to see, because I followed the previous Doctor Who situation a lot through living it through our man's Gary Neurotic.
Oh yeah.
Got a lot of great content out of that. I don't know. I tend to analyze a lot of things economically more than I have probably like ever in my life. I've been an economic kind of analytical guy, but I think definitely after the launch of the Rippaverse, like that's especially the lens that I look at something. So I'm always impressed when I see an example like this, where it's like you do something and it doesn't work, and then you do it again times two. Just that's fascinating to me because I don't know what specifically you're looking at that incentivizes you to do that, other than accolades, maybe, and pats on the back, and your typical circle jerk shit.
I will offer you some more information that may allow you to formulate a slightly different opinion.
Okay.
BBC is funded by the British public.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to find its own money. There's no advertising on the BBC because here in the UK we have the TV license.
You're getting stolen from to pay for it.
Yes. So the BBC steals 150, 60 pounds a year off the British public to make programming to serve their own ideology.
So yeah, from that perspective, you don't have any economic incentive,
no,
at all, actually, because I mean that's the dangers of government. I mean, we talk about this all the time out here, and that the difference between a business, private institution versus the government is that the government can utterly fail, but they have this guaranteed line of money that they get through. Maybe it's by printing money, most of it through taxing, right? By stealing from people involuntarily.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas to, let's say, something like Riververse, I have to earn people's dollar, right? I have to put something up that people are willing to buy, and I have to keep delivering on that if I expect to see money. Whereas in this case, they don't have to do that at all. It's like, well, we're gonna get the money anyway. I guess they're like, why not fucking utilize this? It's almost like a double dip. We're going to steal from the people, and then we're also going to lecture them or use this property, let's say, to do that. That's fascinating. From even that perspective, that makes it make sense. It almost you get a lot of clarity as to why this would happen like that in that order. And well, you laid an egg before with a few seasons of that, and now you're going this route, and it seems as if you're like tripling down, essentially doubling and tripling down, and it may get worse. Again, I don't know. It's easy for me to say this now, but I don't know. In retrospect, after all this happens, maybe that's the conversation that we'll be having. We'll be like, well, the female Doctor Who wasn't shit compared to whatever the hell we're going to be getting going into the future, which is why I said it could. We may have not even got started. It may get like really good here in the future. But that's such a fascinating thing. It does feel calculated and coordinated when you look at every single thing that seemed to matter to a large number of people, especially in these fictional universes, is getting chipped away at, right? One by one, right? We move from what came first. You can make the argument. Obviously, I was more privy to the comic book side of things, right? And seeing what they did to a lot of these Marvel characters, especially during all new, all different era, made no fucking sense to me. But they did it anyway. We saw it happen to Iceman. Like that was what I was talking about this yesterday. That was like a big I think that the Iceman thing may have been the first one where everybody was like, what the fuck? Because that was like 2015, right? So everybody was like kind of like, what the fuck is what are they doing? Like, that doesn't really make fucking sense. Like, yeah, it looks bad as well. Jean Grey kind of just turns them gay. But what the fuck? And then it just, 2016 happened. I don't know. Something happened during that year that kind of sent people, made people crazy. Not quite sure what that was in 2016.
No, racking my brain, but I can't.
No idea what happened then that really accelerated a lot of stuff and made people crazy. But I think what it especially did was it had these people throughout Hollywood and entertainment felt as if they needed to use that entertainment to beat their audience over the head with whatever social or political views it is that they had. So they're just making their way. And I think I made this point before. is that if they have not gotten to your property, they'll get there.
Oh yes.
Right? It's just only a matter of time at this point.
It's a virus. It infects. It moves on. It finds a new host.
Exactly. So it just gets, jumps from thing to thing. If they're like every other conversation we have in Star Wars here, Star Trek, right? Marvel, DC, you're talking about Doctor Who,
Dungeons and Dragons, TVAM.
Yeah, we're just going on and on with these these properties that have been around for a very, very long time, right? Forever, and we're seeing the direction that they're going in. They've been controlled. They are being controlled by ideologues. So I guess my question is like, do you put Russell T Davies in like the Filoni category?
No, Russell T Davies has actually got some talent.
Okay.
What he did to bring New Who back and just the casting and the writing and the direction, it was good fun. There was a really good show there, really fun show. Not every episode's great, and he had written a couple of absolute stinkers, but he'd written a lot of really good fun stuff. And it was good stuff that had a lot of heart, a lot of character, a lot of soul. And Russell T Davies is a gay man, and everyone knew that. It's not a secret. He had already produced TV for the UK way before then. One of his big shows is called Queer as Folk.
Yeah, Queer as Folk.
Queer as Folk. Yeah. So no one ever had an issue with that. No one had an issue with the gay character in the show or the pansexual character in the show, Captain Jack Harkness, because that was just a part of who he was. He wasn't defined by his pansexuality. He was defined by character, who he was as a person. Started off as a morally dubious character, and then through hanging out with the Doctor and doing the things that the Doctor did, actually became a hero. And died because of it, and then was brought back due to it, and then he couldn't die because of how he was brought back. It was a very interesting thing. But Captain Jack Harkness, he would fuck anything in the universe. He didn't care what species you were, what gender you were. That was just Jack, and that was, so nobody cared because he was a really cool, fun character. And John Barrowman, who played him, again, very handsome guy, a lot of charisma, a lot of personality, good actor. So there was just everything there for people to gravitate towards. During the mid 2010s, it's funny how that seems to be
like
a nexus point.
Right, where
everything
went to shit, yes, or at least it started to.
I think his partner died.
Okay.
His partner, and he really started to embrace transgenderism as a thing, and he would do a lot of kind of like talks about how it was so important, the visibility of it, yada yada yada. So, it just appears that ideology has overwhelmed his desire to just tell fun stories. Okay. This last episode just gone, it was just, all of it was just trans everything. And I don't even believe that 99% of the people that say they're trans are trans. I think they're just a lot of people looking for attention on the internet. And this is a way to do it. And if you have to sort of do a few things along the way to show it off or expedite it, they don't care, But I think, to be perfectly honest with you, everything that's been going on over the course of the last 6 or 7 or so years has been unbelievably detrimental to legitimate trans people. They've been literally overtaken and abused and used as a vessel to virtue signal, to leech off the narcissists. And I've worked in a job before where I had a decent amount of contact with trans people, legit trans people who believed that they weren't in their right body. And I had a hell of a lot of sympathy for these people that I was dealing with, because it was clearly a mental condition that they have. None of them were under the impression that they were the gender that they were. You know, they just believed that they identified and wanted to live their life in that way. And you know, that is kind of courageous that they would have the wherewithal to try and do that. And so to see what we see now on social media, where it's just like stick a couple of flags in your bio and then say, I woke up this morning and I didn't feel the need for sex, so I guess I'm asexual, #pride, flag. And it's just like, you know, you've done more to probably hurt tolerance, progression, anything of this nature. You're just making people, with your constant demands, with your we deserve respect. Well, you don't. Respect is earned. It's not given. You have, you know, every individual has to earn their own respect. You know, there could be 10 people at the Rippaverse. That's 10 people that need to earn people's respect.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just because one person has respect, the others by default get respect. There might be people there that will be civil or give, you know, the benefit, but unless those people prove themselves to you, then you'll see them for who they are.
Right.
And with all this is going on, I think you're just breeding into people intolerance, because people are just getting sick and tired of it. So you're causing more division, fracturing people further. And let's just be honest, that's probably the goal. The legit goal in this is keep the people divided, keep them arguing, keep them their minds off of what's actually going on, and keep them busy with these fucking ridiculous platforms that just eat your life and waste your life away.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I don't know. It's really interesting. It's like these fucking people. I guess what makes me, what I find bizarre, let's call it that, is the gaslighting of it all, and where we all can see, especially through that nexus point that you mentioned, in 2010s, where shit just got weird.
Oh yeah.
The part that I find to be hilarious is how people will gaslight others and say that we will highlight this, let's say as an example, whether it be in a video or whatever, we're talking about it, we're doing a show, and these people act as if we just made the shit up, as if it's not happening. Or, and I guess that's how it starts, is it not? It's, well, it was never happening, and then it's, well, now it is happening, they can't deny it's happening, and it's good that it is happening, right? It's whatever's advantageous to them in the conversation it is that they are having. So you have people that will gaslight the audience and suggest that, well, you found a problem with what's going down. And you see it. You're like, this isn't Doctor Who. This isn't this character. This isn't that character. Whatever. This is not what this whole show is about, or movie about, a character about, comic book, whatever it may be. And then the people that are now in control of it will say, you guys don't know what the fuck you're talking about. It was always like this, or something of that, some crazy shit like that. And that's been what always gets me about it all, because it's a spit in the face to so many. Because you look at something like Doctor Who, you don't get to the position that you're in without fucking decades upon decades of resonating with audiences, people that have literally grown up on this shit, right? Like,
everybody.
Yes, you know, so that's how stuff becomes almost a fabric of Western like culture. Like it transcends, right? Like we see this with like comic book characters, like Superman and Batman transcend comics, right? Like they're part of like Western culture, to where a person can have never read a comic book, they know who Batman is, right? They know who Superman is, and what have you. So you're telling all these people that took in all this information, they've passed it on to their children, and then you come out with something that's just new iteration of it, and then you say, well, all that shit that you guys that you knew and loved, either A, doesn't matter, or B, it was a problem with it. And I think you're seeing some of that with like, again, changing a character from being, let's say, handicapped, if you will, to no longer being that, because they feel as if, I don't know, disabled people bad, the fuck, whatever their reasoning behind it is. It's nonsensical. But again, think about what it is that they're telling you there. They're basically telling you that all that shit that you had grew up on, or all the shit that you've taken in, you maybe spent all this money on, or in BBC's case, you were stolen money from. So you get every right to fucking complain about this type of stuff. None of that matters, because it's ours now. We took it; it's ours, and whatever ideology and politics and social political views, whatever it may be, that's the hotlight, right? And we're gonna use this thing that you like and love as a vehicle, but they're gaslighting the entire fucking audience and acting as if you are a problem. And this is why a lot of that this is why you can imagine, right, the term Nazi, right, which there was once upon a time, if someone was referred to that as a title, hell broke loose, because it was like, that's a dangerous thing, right? Something is fundamentally wrong. And now, we're like desensitized to it, because it's like they just throw this shit around, right? It's misogyny, all these other terms. It's the same shit.
Because the people who are throwing it around, they don't have the knowledge of what they're talking about. They are parroting somebody's rhetoric, somebody's opinion, so they don't know the argument, they don't know the nuance. So the only thing that they can do is jump immediately to insults. So what's the biggest thing that you can try and do to shut somebody up because fuck all? You call them the worst name that you possibly can. And so when you've done that for a few years now, I don't give a fuck what I get called: racist, sexist, homophobic, bigoted, transphobe, yada yada. I don't care, because it's meaningless. You might as well just call me a poopy pants. That's why when I mock this stuff, I go, you're a big poopy pants. Because it's just as effective as that. It's nothing. It's meaningless. You don't understand what you're talking about. And so you have to go, when somebody mentioned, anyway, the argument's always been there. When you have to go to an extreme, like whenever people go, well, Hitler did this, you've already lost the argument.
Yeah.
You've lost the argument already, because you've had to go to a ridiculous extreme, because you cannot argue your point correctly. You cannot argue it with information that you've accrued. You got to go to some ridiculous extreme to kind of bring it in. Well, Hitler drank water, so anyone who drank water is a fucking Nazi. And it's just
no.
It's that. Chin chin.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, I think that just speaks to the cultural change, that we have right now. Everything's fucking different. This is why I'm so fucking bullish on creating, because I just don't think these people got it in them to adjust. And they've shown that, and I guess that's what people needed to see. And that is that even when it becomes something that even normies are like, okay, something is fucking weird, will they keep going? And what we're seeing is, yes, they will. They will.
To a point, to a degree.
Yeah. But they're saying that you're weighing doing something that we got a story we'll talk about with Disney here in a little bit. Doing something that people actually want, will pay for, or into, versus being able to use something as a vehicle to make a political or social statement. These people have decided that latter is far more important than that former. So when pressed to do one or the other, they will for sure take the road of, well, this is an opportunity to lecture. So that's what we're going to do. Well, this is an opportunity this is something that people recognize, people understand, people know. And what better way to get them to believe some bullshit it is that I want them to believe, or uphold, whatever that may be, what better way to do that than to use something as a platform that often these people did not create? They did not put the work in to fucking build it up. They're just standing on it as a platform with a microphone and a podium to lecture the audience about. And because people have shown in the past that they are willing to give it the time of day, it's like ripe for it. Because if it didn't have Doctor Who attached to it, who the fuck's watching this shit?
Exactly.
Who's even bothering to give this shit the time of day? Almost nobody. But when you slap a Marvel title on it, or a character for that matter on it, and then you're using it as that vehicle to tell whatever stuff. And sometimes, yeah, a lot of times it's ideology. Other times it's just goofy shit. I mean, I covered yesterday. I don't know if you guys got to it. I didn't get a chance to watch you guys' show yesterday. With Taika Waititi, and he's saying, I ain't fucking like Thor.
Yeah,
it's a paycheck for me.
Yeah, it's a paycheck because it was poor, wanted to feed his family. Fair enough.
Yeah,
but didn't know nothing, didn't care for nothing. Kind of showed in the film.
Very, very, very true. But to me, that again, it's the same concept. It's they're not really invested in this shit, like for what it is and what made it beloved. They're invested into it for their own personal gain. And again, that may be monetary for some people. I'm a capitalist at the end of the day, so I'm all about people fucking doing what voluntary exchange and making money off the product. I just don't think you have to sacrifice your integrity in order to do that. That's my position. But again, on the other flip side, you have people that care a lot about the making the social political statement.
Yeah, I'd be more than happy to hire a director who knew crime to make a Batman film.
Yeah.
Because he can understand the concept of crime, detective work, forensics, all that sort of business. Now just take what you know and place it into this character who is essentially a detective in a superhero costume, and he'd be like, right, got it. I know where I'm coming from now. But we're getting it, like Nia DaCosta. Let's take Nia DaCosta. Nia DaCosta, huge comic book fan. She read Ms. Marvel. So gotcha. That's a gotcha already, because you're not a huge fucking comic book fan if you read Ms. Marvel, because that's bullshit. It's fucking bullshit. That's a paycheck for Sam Ammonot. That's the only reason why it exists.
Yeah.
So you get somebody who came in and did you see the Marvels? I'm gonna guess that you didn't.
Did not.
Okay. You would walk out the cinema. If I said go to the Marvels, you don't have to do a stream. Just go see it. We'll do it in quiet, in private, no one will ever know. You would turn to me and go, we're leaving.
Yeah.
Because it is an embarrassment of a film. Embarrassment, because you would look at it as even if you don't like the characters, Captain Marvel, Ms. Marvel, Monica Rambeau, whatever, cats.
Mm-hmm.
You would still see it as somebody who loves superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
Who loves heroicism, and your brain would be like, this does not compute. This isn't this. We're out. Let's get fucking Nando's or some shit. Let's get the fuck out of here. Okay, no problem, Eric. And let's go. That's what it'd be like. But that is a person who's been given $300 million.
Yeah.
In corporate money. Investors' money to do what? To literally make I don't fucking know what I'm doing film.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how. I'm a woman, and I don't seem to even appear to know how women fucking work or operate or talk or act. Certainly don't know how men act, because fucking Nick Fury's going around talking like a fucking 25-year-old Californian girl. And I'm there like, why is Nick Fury going black girl magic? Do you think this is a guy that fucking knows? I didn't know what the fuck that was until Ryan Kinnell told me. And Ryan only knows because he's a massive racist.
True.
So he's got to keep up on these things. Love you, Ryan. Love you, man. So the voices, every voice in the film, fucking same. Every voice, nobody had a character. The heroes, awful. But when the plot, which is fucking as loose as you can get in terms, is revealed, Captain Marvel's a hideous human being. But she wears a tight tank top, and it's okay. It's all right. Don't worry about it. I got a cat as well, and I eat litter. These people have no idea what they're doing. They have no idea, or more importantly, they don't care. They don't care about the genre. They don't care about the characters. They care about themselves. They care about their optics. They care about their payday. I could never knock somebody for taking a payday, but regardless of what job you take, whether it's flipping burgers or doing a $300 million movie, if you're getting paid for it, at least fucking try.
Yeah, give a fuck about it. Well, if not, what's the fucking point? But especially, I have no leeway. I don't have any leeway for any people that participate in like the creative endeavors, man, and show that they just don't give a shit, right? And I'm not saying you got to be fucking perfect. I'm not pretending that you can go without, like you should be able to go without error, but to make shit knowingly to spite, well, it seems to spite your ideological enemy, which is really more of what we get. It's like.
It's like the Daily Wire. The Daily Wire's response to Snow White was to do Snow White.
Yeah.
Don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to do Snow White properly. Don't care.
Yeah.
Your response should have been, we're going to create a fairy tale.
Yeah.
We're going to create a fairy tale for kids, and we're going to make this fairy tale fun. We're going to make it a little bit scary, maybe. We're going to put some good old-fashioned classic morals in there. Now you just got two entities going tit for tat.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't benefit anyone.
Yeah.
Oh, are you going to come and see my Snow White film because my Snow White film is not woke? No, but maybe you could have taken that money and made something that people just wanted to watch. When you look at films, low budget films,
the spite thing, it's not a sustainable thing. This is why just being I say it all the time, just being an alternative, and people have to find out the hard way what the fuck that means. It's just not really good enough. It's not just being one just for the sake of being one. It's not really good enough. You could think that you're owed all the support in the world for it, but at the end of the day, you have to give people something it is that they want. But
hold on.
Yeah.
What are they? You are a person who is hired by one of the biggest corporations in the planet, giving hundreds of millions of dollars to make a film. What the fuck exactly are you owed?
That's a good point.
I see a massive gratitude problem. That's what I see. You got a huge gratitude problem. That's what you got.
That's a good point.
You got a massive chip on your fucking shoulder. You have been given one of the most privileged jobs imaginable. And if that was entrusted onto the Soska sisters, their directors, let's say it was passed on to them, to the Soska sisters. We're going to give you Black Widow movie to make. We saw No Restraints play. We're going to give you, because we want to make a profit, we're going to give you 100. We're going to give you $100 million to make a Black Widow film. You could see that they'd be like, fucking hell, we're going to make this the fucking best fucking use of that money that we possibly can.
Yeah.
To make that movie. But then you get Nia DaCosta. What do you think Nia DaCosta? Do you think she gives a fuck? Don't give no fucks. This is it's kind of half not her fault because she was cast based on color and gender. So she's so almost you've got to get a bit of a chip on your shoulder because realistically, you're not there for the right reasons. Do you really think that's a person that when you see a body of work, because I've looked on a body of work, there's nothing fucking there.
No.
And then you're given $300 million.
Yeah.
to make a film for the biggest one of the biggest corporations on the planet, one of the biggest media entities on the planet. So you're not meant to be there. So does that make you get a chip on his shoulder? I'd still be like, fuck this. I'm gonna do whatever I can. I got a knock on the door tomorrow. Went, Az, come over to the States, giving you $300 million to make a Batman film. I would give it the best that I got, but I ain't got a fucking clue what I'm doing.
Yeah.
My first thing to do would be on the phone to people and go, hey, you know what the fuck? You know what you're doing? I need you.
People do. Yeah, that's why it's important to have them around. But yeah, it's I don't know, man. It for me, it feels like, and I mentioned this a million times, that they create content as if we are the ones that have to prove ourselves to them as the customers. Like, are we good enough, right? To buy into this, which I think is why they lash out so much in the event that people say, yeah, no, we don't want this shit. Well, okay, you're racist then. Okay, well, you're a misogynist then, or whatever your buzz term then, because you weren't good enough, right? You weren't good enough to like this shit. And yeah, as a guy that handles a lot of money, right? I can't envision a world like that. That's fucking retarded, because you entrust people with that much money, you'd think that, I mean, it would just be human nature, and apparently it's not. But I think the entire ecosystem, I think is the proper term here, is not, it's not structured in such a way that you're going to get the best of the best to produce the best type of film. It's pay to play. There's a lot of patting each other on the back. There's a lot of party favors. And there's a whole lot of ideology, right? A whole lot of that shit. And when that is your structure, per se, how can you produce the best quality shit? You put in, and it's, I mean, that's part of being leaders, right? And this is why I've said that. I mean, we talked about last show, the Meowvils, right? And and we talked about how I tried to bring it back down to earth, because think about how many levels of shit that this had to be funneled through before we saw it. And nobody thought to say, yeah, we're not putting this shit out. Nobody. So it got approved at this level, that level, and that level. That speaks to a leadership problem. That speaks to a structural issue. And I think entertainment as a whole has that, to the point to where maybe they're not even positioned in a way to do good shit. And I think it shows in the people that they bring on, like with the Taika Waititis or the Nia DaCostas, and these people who, I mean, anybody could see that there's no way that of the massive pool of people that you could choose from, that was the best you could come up with. You're fucking Disney. You got $300 million to spend. $300 million to spend on some shit, and that's the direction that you went. I don't for once believe that they are trying to get the best of the fucking best. And I'm all about prodigies. I'm all about people that have shown that they understand some shit. They might not be the most popular, to be given a shot. But for people that seem to, in like Taika's case, like they seem to like have genuine contempt for the material it is that they're supposed to be adapting, albeit loosely.
I'll ruin your
Lord, baby. In a minute. That's what he said. That's specifically what he said. I just can't imagine having someone be a part of a project that massive and controlling at least something, and being able to say that with confidence like that, to be able to be like, yeah, I do not care about your lore. I do not care about X. And he's moved on. He's about to do some Star Wars shit. Is that still going to happen?
No, I don't think it's going to happen.
Okay, well, that'd be smart. Definitely after this recent interview and hearing him just flat out say like if you read, and I guess I'll pull it up real quick, but just to give people context.
Just before you do, I'll just tell you something and then ask you something real quick.
Okay.
On the third Monday of Top Gun Maverick's cinematic run, which ended with 1.472 billion at the box office. Billion at the box office. Its first Monday was, I think, so the third Monday, if I got this correctly, the third Monday was $3.1 million. So that's 2 full weeks, and then you're going into the third week. What did the Marvels do on Monday domestically?
What did it do?
340,000. An average of $111 a theater.
That's not good.
That's about 5-6 tickets.
That's not good.
It's not good.
And the theaters can't be. Well, we'll have again a little segment that we'll talk about with that. They can't be happy about it.
That's a 300 plus, most likely about 320, a little bit higher, $1 million film. That is on a worldwide of 187 million right now after 2 full weeks.
That movie's gonna lose
$500
million, half a billion dollars.
$500 million.
That is fucking insane.
But near the cost is great.
Yeah, I mean, and Zawe or whatever her name is, hey, diversity.
Hey, look, I'm totally with her. I actually agree. I think that representation does cost $500 million.
That's your sacrifice. That's for sure.
You bought and you paid for that. You keep it. That's yours. You paid for $500 million. $500 million. So a woman could say, hey.
But check this out. I'm going to show this real quick. We'll get to the super chats in a minute, guys. I promise. And then we got a couple other things that we're gonna discuss. But this is what I was talking about for you guys that may be confused. So I'm going to read this statement to you all. This is coming from Variety directly, and this is coming from Taika Waititi, has been reported by Variety. And listen to this. Imagine this real quick. You know who Taika Waititi is. Let me read it. And Thor, let's face it, it was probably the least popular franchise. He continued, I never read Thor comics as a kid. That was the comic I'd pick up and be like, ugh. And then I did some research on it. And I read one Thor comic, or 18 pages, or however long they are, and I was still baffled by this character. So just take that into consideration. This is the man fucking directing one of the most prominent characters that Marvel has been able to create based on obviously a character from Norse mythology, if you will. And this isn't just, I don't know the character. That's part of it. It's content. It's I didn't like him. That to me is fucking impressive, that you have someone directing a film for a property that he doesn't even fucking like. It's not just ignorance. It's not just, I don't really understand it. That is part of it. And while there may be people that have a little more leeway on this than I do. I get it. While me personally, I think that's still unacceptable, because I think there's more than enough people who know, love, and cherish the source material, understand it, that can be directors, that can be helping with production of a film. At minimum, I think we all agree that that gig probably should not be given to someone that doesn't like it. I feel like we can at least agree on that, right? He doesn't like it. He says he'd be like, huh. That's what he said. He didn't say that. I didn't say it. He said it. Nah, man, granted, I've been making that argument for the better part of for a long time. Let's just say that. Where I've said these guys don't really give a shit about these properties. These are just stepping stools for their individual careers. Nothing more or less. You're putting $200 million, $300 million on a film with a director that don't even like the shit. That's fascinating. But it speaks to a fundamental problem.
Yeah, a lot of people at that time were still going to the cinema simply because of the name Marvel.
Yes.
It's the new Marvel movie. So that is bringing a proportion, a percentage. What? I can't quantify exactly, but that is definitely bringing a percentage of people just into the theaters because of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a new Marvel movie. They're good. You know, you see them all, the big Infinity thing. Yeah, they're great. So that's ultimate. That faith, that's called good faith. You know, that's giving the benefit. People do that. We do it a lot in every aspect of life. It gets worn down.
Yeah.
It gets worn down to the degree that no one gives a fuck about the Marvels because the character in itself is a fake character. They were created fake. They were pushed fake.
True.
They were placed on a pedestal that they didn't deserve, hadn't earned as a character. If Booster Gold is outselling everything in DC, then Booster Gold gets moved up past Batman and Superman. This is the guy that's selling. We're pushing him.
Yeah.
We'll keep pushing it. Doesn't mean that you have to knock the quality of the others, but we're pushing him. We're pushing like when Booster Gold's selling the lowest and getting constantly cancelled, and then you have the same philosophy. We're pushing him to the moon. We're pushing him to the moon. There's no fan base there. There's no history there. There's no love, attachment, nothing with that. Is there with Batman? Fuck yeah, 85 years almost. Superman, 85 years. Spider-Man, 65 years. Fantastic Four, Hulk, yada yada. Look, Thor, 60 fucking plus years.
Yeah. Yeah, fact.
That's why people turn out for the Spider-Man films. That's why they turn out for these films, these characters. But you push something like Captain Marvel, she was never meant to be there in the first place. Contrived character, put in a contrived position that wasn't earned. There is no fan base. There never was.
Yo.
And you're giving it 300 fucking million because you're telling and not showing. She's the best. She's the strongest. She's the fastest, the longest, the super... Doesn't fucking matter what you say. We've seen it on the screen. Boring fucking bland bint. Got nothing about her. No personality, no charisma, no drive, no story. Nothing to invest in. She got nothing. Why should I pay my money to go see that?
Yeah.
Normies aren't stupid. Sure, they'll give you the benefit of the doubt. They'll be like, I'm going to go because it's X franchise, and I'll go and see it because it's X franchise.
Yeah.
But after a while, you degrade that. You degrade that, and they'll be like, nah, I'm okay. I'm all right.
Yeah. And that's what they did. And that's what's fast. And it happened so quick. I think that's the part that gets slept on. How fast that shit happened. Like, they were on top of the world. Disney, for that matter. We were having conversations about, like, is this becoming like monopolists and shit, right? Is what people would talk about with Disney, which was not that long ago. Endgame, believe it or not, was not that fucking long ago, bros.
No.
That was not that long ago. And yet here we are where they are laying back-to-back duds, not just in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Look at what's happening with Wish. Is that going to make money? Is Wish going to make money?
No. Very unlikely it's going to make money. It's going to lose probably 100, maybe a little bit more. $200 million budget. The last time, I'll have a quick grab of it now for you, actually. $200 million budget. So you're looking at about 750 to break even.
Mm-hmm.
Worldwide, it's on 49 million. 32 of that was domestic. 17 was international. Nobody abroad gives a fuck about this film. It could lose way more than 100. Having seen that, I didn't realize it was fucking. I thought it's 49 million domestic,
Yeah.
not worldwide. No, it's 49 worldwide. No, it's gonna lose a couple of 100, 250 probably, maybe more, probably more. But the animation looks absolutely awful. Awful. Never mind the story and all the bullshit that we know with this, with the stupid story and the contrived elements of it to start the fucking the fairy tale cinematic universe.
Yeah.
And all that shite. No, the actual animation looks crap. And one of the I don't know if you knew, but one of the DC animators actually took to social media.
Oh, word? No, I didn't know that.
And they were just like, we tried. We did. She did say, we did what we could with what we had. You had $200 million, is what you had. You had $200 million fucking dollars. So even though she was not trying to blame fans or have a go at fans, and her verbiage was very kind of, we'll try our best harder, we'll try harder, blah, blah. That's fine. But you had $200 million. So please don't say you did the best with what you had.
Unbelievable. Unfucking believable. This is Hollywood these days. I just that's just such a lot of money, man. So much money, man.
Remember that Joker wasn't a Joker film. It was a script that was existing, that was adapted to bring the Joker in. I've got this script. I can adapt it, change the main character to Joker, change this accordingly. $50 million budget. I don't know how many fucking times I got to say that. $50 million budget, and also remade because Joaquin Phoenix didn't like his performance. So redone, all within 50 million, 1.1 billion nearly at the box office. Because if you put somebody who's talented, like Todd Phillips, you put somebody that's talented, they can adapt to the genre, to the character, to the world. They can adapt because they know what they're fucking doing.
Yeah.
Taika Waititi thought Thor was a fucking clown, while he acted like a clown on set. If you see the behind the scenes footage, he's just acting like a look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me.
Yeah.
Casts himself in everything, in all his work. Casts himself as well as a character. The guy's got I think he's got a bit of a me complex, bit of a narcissist.
Yeah, just a tad.
Just
a tad. Okay, guys, we're gonna fly through these before we go into our next. It's been a great conversation. We're a little over an hour and 15 minutes in, so I appreciate y'all fucking hanging out with me. I'm gonna fly through these real quick. We got Therio, God of Rage with a 10, says, Eric, can you believe this shit? Ass quit or bet, bro. Says I'm just mucking about. Much love to you both, and I truly appreciate what y'all do. Thank you for the 10. I appreciate it. And
I'll read it for next week. I'll read it for next week.
There you go. We have Dan Vass R100, Brazilian 100. That is how much that is. Says, what should a normie? It's a genuine question. Should a normie start with enjoying Doctor Who, and most importantly, stop?
You can start with Russell T Davis's first episode, Rose, 2005. That was the first episode of the Return of Doctor Who. And I would advise that you stop after the Capaldi run. Some people might advise that you stop after the first season of Capaldi's run. But even though Capaldi had some really tough dialogue to work with and stories to work with, he was such a great actor and got the Doctor that he could elevate. He could elevate poor scripts big time because of his performance. But when Capaldi regenerates, that's when the show ends, and that's it. That's it. It's over.
There you go. There you go. Okay. James Watkins with a 2 says 600 episode of classic Doctor Who are free on Tubi right now. Says James Watkins. Okay. We got CJ with a 10 for studios. want female heroes and make lots of money, they should have adapted Chuck Dixon's Batgirl and Saska's Black Widow. Their loss is River versus gain. That's very true because we'll do the characters and we will we'll do them right without all the bullshit.
I mean, Black Widow is right. I've got to be careful how I phrase this. I was going to say such an easy character to write. No, because obviously you got the nuance of who Natasha actually is. But if you boil it down to it, you're writing a femme fatale. You're writing a femme fatale in a spy fiction world. And again, then you adapt it to put Natasha Romanoff in there. So, you just need 50, 100 million tops. You could make a kick-ass R-rated Black Widow. It could have it all. It could have it all.
And just choose not to.
Yeah.
Again, whatever it is, competence, incompetence, or whatever it may be. Harrison with a 5 says Doctor Who being killed over and over again. Isn't that the origin of DC's Doomsday?
Well, Doctor Who has been around a lot longer. I mean, the Doctor would die and regenerate anyway. But Tecteun was just forcing the regenerations. But it's crap. It's a crap origin based on the origin of the Doctor was very simple and very effective. He looked into the time vortex and it freaked him the fuck out. And he ran. He ran away from Gallifrey. He stole a TARDIS and he ran away. And he was, an outcast and a pariah to his people more often than not. But he just wanted to go out there and explore and help, and it's very simple stuff. And you don't need to overcomplicate things.
Yeah. Yep. Zion with a 5. I appreciate that. Living Dead became a new member. Thank you so much. We have Great Man with a 5 says Chuck Norris does not own a stove, oven, or microwave because revenge is a dish best served cold. Bring out the Chuck Norris jokes. Appreciate that. We have Graph Web with a 2 says hashtag cancel Disney Plus for fuck's sakes. He says we got Robot versus Cyborg. 1 month says love it when Az rants. This is the best show on YouTube on Wednesday. Keep up the amazing work, Ribbon Az. Can't wait to get Alpha. I appreciate that. Shout out to all of you, over 2,000 of you here. Appreciate you. Wow. And yes, next week things start shipping. It's going to be a good time. White Wolf says Eric, stop. Az is dying internally. That's what they're talking about. Yeah. I'm sorry. I had to make him relive that.
I died inside long ago.
Mr. Hat with a 5 says, hey, Ribbon, hey, Az. So when are they holding a vigil for Doctor Who? Sorry for your loss, Az, as an Avatar fan. I know how you feel, says Mr. Hat. Yeah, I mean, everybody's watching kind of franchises be picked off. Quirty Man with a 5. It's called Cope Agenda. Mock and shame them, then blacklist all involved, then make your own. Also social ostracize them publicly whenever you can. Well, yeah, I mean, at some point, I mean, it's going to become unattractive for people to produce that type of content. When I see people double down over and over and over, it's like, okay, when is that going to tip? You know what I mean? Or which I think is more accurate, it's just not going to come from the mainstream.
I think one of the positives to come out of Doctor Who this week was the fact that it was mocked mercilessly. And that's what you need to do to this crap. Just mock it.
Yeah.
Just laugh at it.
Yeah. I agree. We have Jeremy with a 5 say haters get mad at the Riververse for unearned success. Meanwhile, a lot of comic writers are only known because they hijack established characters. Yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point. Yeah, there are people that think I'm not. I think that's where a lot of the envy stuff comes from. A lot of it is Eric does not deserve to be here. Eric, they think they're better, and that may be their opinion that they have, and that's fine. But customers.
So you created a YouTube channel,
Yeah.
developed an audience, had a band,
Mm-hmm.
discussed political aspects,
Mm-hmm.
knowledgeable in pop culture
Mm-hmm.
and people, was sick of what was out there, put your own money to create your own company, created brand new characters, wrote it yourself,
Mm-hmm.
hired extra people gave people jobs
Yeah. Well,
to all aspects, from printing, inking, drawing, warehouse,
yeah.
data, back end, customer
Yeah.
service,
Yeah.
hired some of the greatest talent in the industry that's ever existed.
Chuck motherfucking
Chuck
Dixon,
fucking
Mike Barron.
Dixon, Mike Barron, bringing in Soska Sisters, movies,
Mm-hmm.
WWE movies,
Mm-hmm.
No Restraints Play. We've read it. I understand after reading it, fully understand. Paying them with the money that you earned from selling the comic to the fan base that you built and above and beyond. Yeah, you don't deserve shit, mate.
Yeah, I think people look at to Az's point, they look at the result and nothing more. And I think they believe that should be repurposed. Number one, I think this is why you're seeing some people lash out. And I saw Jenna Sylvia in the chat says Eric's the most criticized band in comics. I am right now. It's people go through everything that I do with a fine tooth comb. But yeah, a lot of that stems from, hey, you shouldn't be in the position. I should be in the position, or my friend should be in the position. And look, man, markets will want what they want. It's not me you need to convince. It's not our customers that you need to convince. It's not our customers that you can really convince. You got to convince the market. But lashing out at me, especially other fucking creators, you shouldn't do that. Like,
the good thing is the people who are lashing out are the very last people that you ever need to convince.
True. Oh yeah, that's actually putting it perfect. I mean, I think that's partially why people are mad ass, because I'll be the first to tell you, like, I do this shit for my customers, not my peers.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all can fucking think I'm the worst in the fucking world, but that's not who I do it for. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'd be stupid to build my business around what my peers want and what my peers expect. I'm using the term peers loosely, by the way. What I got to do it for these guys. I got to do it for the buyers. I have to do everything with them in mind. And if they are, we're going to keep doing great things. We're going to keep improving where we can. But their satisfaction is top, of everything. Like that. That's what it's about. And so, again, if I can teach anybody anything, yes, you see the result. It took a long time to get here. People that have known what I'm in the public sphere for 18 motherfucking years, man. This shit didn't start yesterday. But building a rapport with the audience, to the point to where we can put stuff out and have $3 million campaigns is, that's a testament to the people that we brought on, the rapport that I've been able to build with the audience, and that is the market response to it. So don't be mad at me. It's not conducive to your end game of trying to maybe be in the position. Customers pick up on that, but like to what I just said, definitely if you are creative, I just don't think that that's a good idea. Reason being, especially when I see people, and I ended on this note and move on to the next super chat. And I think I said this last night. There are people out there that have their own people. I don't respond to it because I don't need to. But there are folks that take jabs at me. We see those jabs. I just don't, it's not for me to be responding to that. And I got a little better shit to do. But if I can give anybody some free advice, it looks very, very bad when you have your own projects that you have failed to deliver on, of the tens of thousands of dollars and some of the hundreds of thousands of dollars. And you are spending more of your time dedicated towards trying to bring down the person that has delivered. If I could put you on game, that looks terrible to your fucking audience. They see that, they pick up on that, and that's not going to help you get to the end game, which is ultimately trying to be in the position that I am in. So if I can give you any fucking advice, you want that audience. You can get that audience, but it's not me you need to convince. It's not even my audience that you need to convince, and you won't be able to extrapolate that. It's impossible. You need to focus on doing you and giving something it is that people fucking want. And I can't help you there other than to give you advice on the economics of it all, and maybe you could pick up some tips. But the being mad because you feel like I shouldn't be in this position, it's just that's not smart. I'm just telling you that from a businessman perspective. That one guy says member for 10 months. I appreciate that. We have Joker Outlaw with a 2 says, hey Ripper, any libertarian books you recommend? Yes. I'll start with The Anatomy of the State by the great Murray Rothbard. If you want to get to some of the more advanced, longer reads, you can also do Ethics of Liberty by Murray Rothbard. But I always recommend The Anatomy of the State by Murray Rothbard, because what it does is it breaks down the concept of what the state is. Okay. And yeah, just start there. If I can say nothing else, start there. We have I just read that. Brian Solari himself is here. Says, who's paying to keep these woke companies afloat? Well, there's some funny money involved, but a lot of it's just having a massive fucking mega corporation. Now the BBCs, they can steal from the citizens. That's a little different of a situation. Well, I guess in some case there's some funny money there. If you want to talk banks, but a lot of it is, these guys. A lot of like our properties that we love are not in the hands of like a single individual or a single group of individuals. They're a company under a company under another company. So when they can afford to subsidize those failures with other stuff, Disney, for example, and though they've been hurt a little, I think that's why they're feeling it a lot more, because they're not seeing as
everything is flopping. Every single thing that is coming out is flopping from
exactly. So it's a little different for them than it was in years past, but they could sustain that for a while because they had other things going on. So it's like, yeah, you fail on 3 projects, but one hits it, then you're fine. So that's more of what it is. You got to start following the money there. But a lot of these companies are attached to bigger companies. And that's why they're able to kind of sustain itself. That's just kind of what it is you do. I don't have such a luxury. So if I were to fucking like have a $200 million failure, my company is done. That's it. There's no point of return if I was to lose $500 million. That's it. There's a reverse is done after that. So, but you can afford. I use that term very loosely. Afford to do that when you are attached to some mega multinational, multi-billion-dollar corporation. It's easier to do it. So, Eric Bailey with a 10 says Ripper isn't as nearly as egotistical as many other creators. If a movie can be made and Yaira made more financial sense, then let a hot blonde search begin. Oh, I wouldn't even fucking hesitate. The fuck, not even hesitating. Like whoever I want the characters to look like the characters. That's the expectation. I don't give a fuck if my film came out and it lacked the diversity. Fuck them awards. I don't give a shit about making them awards or trying to be patted on the back again by my peers. I don't give a fuck about any of that. I want to give customers what it is they want. So I have to accurately depict these characters to the best of my ability. So yes, if that made financial sense and maybe it ended up in a less diverse cast, who gives a fuck?
Yeah, but this is one of the hilarities of the situation that you're in. You've already created brand new world, brand new characters, and they are naturally diverse.
Yeah.
So there is a spectrum of men, women, white, brown, black there. True. It's just not harped on. It's just who they are.
Yeah.
This isn't something new. This has always existed. It's just that the term to keep talking about it, to gaslight people into believing that it never existed. That's what's happening. It always has. Grab an Arnie film from the 80s. Grab any film from the fucking 80s. You'll see a complete, just organically diverse cast of people. TV shows organically. It's always existed. It's
Yeah,
only
not new.
current day politics which is trying to move it to the forefront. I mean, you know, I got big hopes for your girl. I think it's going to do exceedingly well, and I just like the idea of you know, not overextending, but you know, I could see like, hey, look, what if we did a 5-minute, 10-minute live action event? You know, just a small, compact, maybe reenact a scene, maybe do something completely different, just to put a different visual on some people, you know, into some people's mind. Things like that can be a lot of fun to do, sure, but the main thing is sell books, and you've got to have it. You've got to have a little bit of ego through all of this. You've got to have some ego, because your ego's got to tell you, I'm gonna fucking do this.
Yeah, not everybody's gonna understand.
If you got no ego, your ego is gonna be, you know, no. You gotta be there to go, I can fucking do this. We're gonna do this. And then of course, when it's been successful like the Rippaverse has, then that just makes you have that knock-on effect. Right, let's fucking go. Let's go. Let's see what we're doing. Third book. Not even out. Gonna start shipping next week. Third book. That 2.5 minute animated. And it's not just sloppy animation. This is fucking some great ass animation.
Yeah.
Or that's just the third fucking book. So you could, I mean, I don't know where you're going. I'm not NDA'd. I don't know where he's going. I don't know where Eric's going. I don't know his ideas. I don't want to, because my perspective is always that from a fan.
Yeah.
And I get excited when I see things coming out, and I've expressed, and I mean this from the fucking bottom of my heart, swear to God, it is so fucking nice to be excited right now. It's legitimately, you know, Marvel's failing. It's Schadenfreude. Doctor Who failing. It's Schadenfreude. But ultimately, I don't get anything from that, because I'm just seeing shit. But when I crack open a book, you know, when I crack open an Isom or an Alpha Core or a Yaira, I got something there. I've got something tangible, physical that I'm excited for, interested in. Get my slab, get my book, get my teas. You know, again, it's a process. We like our processes, and as much as it's fun to poke and laugh at the shit, it's even better to get excited for the stuff that people are legitimately trying to put out for it.
Absolutely. And you know, that's what we're trying to give people, you know, and you know, the fact that we are in the position that we are in this early on is you know, some of the ideas that we have that we're going to start really executing as far as plans is everybody's gonna, I think a lot of y'all are gonna love it. Y'all are gonna fucking love it. We just got a lot of stuff that we got in the works, and it's all for you guys. That's who we're doing it for. We're just gonna continue to grow in that aspect. We're being reasonable with our finances, but we have big aspirations. We'll take this as far as the fans want to take it. But yeah, we're NDA'd right now for sure. But there's some stuff in the works. So just say this: there's some stuff in the works. So I appreciate that, Eric. Thank you so much for that 20. We got a 50 from Defendo. It says, Ripper, since the takeoff of the Rippaverse and having opportunity to work closely with other professional writers, anything you've learned that will make you write one or two differently? Anything that changed your approach to 3? I mean, you have natural kind of, you know, a natural understanding of where the audience kind of wants you to take it. And I think there's ways to, without being just completely subversive, that you can honor. And I guess that's kind of my approach that I went in with ISOM 3, honor kind of what it is that they want more of. Because I'm an analytics guy for sure. And this is why I'm so interactive, because a lot of it is me trying to fill out the audience. The audience of buyers, like not fucking non-buyers, but you know, what they really enjoyed, maybe what they didn't talk about as much, maybe what they don't enjoy about stuff. And naturally the goal is to do more of what works and do less of what you know, what is not. But working with the Soskas or Chuck Dixon or Mike, you know, that stuff rubs off on you. You can't not get better. You know what I mean? As a creative, having these people around. It's funny. We just had, you know, this is not necessarily NDA'd. This is just being completely honest. And we had a creative meeting between myself, the Soskas, and Chuck, and we were talking about our ideas, bouncing some off of it. And even like a Chuck is an OG of a guy as he is like, you know, hearing what the Soskas are saying. I'm not going to NDA. I know I gotta watch it, but hearing what the Soskas was saying, and he's like, "Man, I gotta step my game up." And you know, so everybody,
that's because Chuck's a fucking pro.
Yeah, he's a goddamn pro. So he doesn't stop learning either. You know what I mean? Like, so nobody here is like feels as if they've produced their best work, maybe up until that point. But you know, it's gonna be a constant growth. So you know, I look at it like, look, there's a place and time for it to show that, and I think you show that in your future work. I'm not one of those guys that like, oh, I would go back and go change this, because at this point, it's like I came from the music game, right? And I know how trying to perfect each and everything often turns to a mundane, fucking really robotic product, right? So nothing that I've produced that I feel bad about, you know what I mean, or anything. I did feel like it was the best that I could do at that time. Yeah, under certain different circumstances, would I maybe have done this and done that? But it's nothing that I feel I take away from it, and I'm like, I shouldn't have did that or anything. But you know, it's a natural occurrence. It's like, I'm happy with that, but I know I can do better. That's the point. So ISOM 3 is going to be better than ISOM 2, which is better than ISOM 1 as far as I'm concerned, because I'm not just picking up these tips and shit. I'm also picking up what the audience.
I'll always be honest with you, Eric.
Yeah,
I thought ISOM 2 is better written than ISOM 1.
Yeah,
I definitely saw a growth and development there with the writing. And no, you can't look back and be like, oh, if I don't know. No. You take what you learn and you go forward with it. That's the way that you do it. Everything that we do, every video that I make, I'll be downstairs 30 minutes after uploading and going, fucking hell.
Yeah.
I should have put that in it. Bollocks. Yeah. But you're just like, whatever. I'll say it on a stream, or I'll do it another time, or I'll find somewhere to put it in another video. That's what you do. You know, he's having Chuck Dixon, Soskas, Mike Barron, just at this present moment, never mind who's in the future. This is like a fucking candy store of knowledge that you're in.
Yeah.
100%. You know, and you're just like, I'll have a quarter of that, please. I'll have, a little bit of that, and I'll have some of those. And you can just take all of that and use it, adapt it, find a situation for it to make it happen. But yeah, it's exciting that you have such great voices to call upon, and that's only going to be beneficial. Well, I don't know why I'm pointing at you, fucking me. It's just going to be beneficial to the customer. You know, that is so. Yeah, it's always going to be a win.
Yeah, 100%. Like, it's you can't not get better in a situation like that. I recognize that I'm fucking being surrounded by a bunch of absolute pros here. That was my point, you know, even with the Cliffs of the world, or Gabe El Taib. Like, I got some guys that, you know, had some accomplishments in the industry, right, to work with for the first book. But, you know, everything, bringing up these other people, definitely as writers, you know, these guys can only help elevate me as an individual creative. And that's something I take very serious. Let's say that being able to, you know, talk with Chuck and improve, and him make sense of a certain concept it is that we're collaborating on. The same can be said for Jen and Sylvia. Like, this stuff is godsend for me, and it's I think that payoff is really going to show, in that the stories are going to keep. Wait till you guys read fucking ISOM 3. It's like, just working with those guys has been incredible. I can't say that enough. Like, working with Chuck, Jen, and even Mike has been something that's just been absolutely has been incredible, man. So I'm having fun. So appreciate that. Defendo 99, having an absolute fucking blast with these guys. And yeah, there's that. Stereo God of Rage says with a 10. Can't wait. Or excuse me, can't stand Waititi. Thor is the third most published solo. Obviously, X-Men and such a much higher hero at Marvel, over 750 issues. If you don't like the character, don't direct the damn movie. So simple. It's not so simple to those guys, though. Guy Vermectin with a 5. I appreciate that.
He needed that money to pay his bills.
Pay his bills, yeah.
His internet bills, electricity bill.
Yeah. Archangel said with a 6 months, did you see Miles' suit in Spider-Man 2? I mean, I haven't seen all the suits, no. I didn't personally play. I watched Peter play it.
Are you talking about the sponsored Adidas? He's wearing a sponsored Adidas.
Oh,
outfit.
he's not rocking the Jordans anymore. The Jordan 1s. He moved on to another shoe company.
Yeah, he got another sponsorship.
Oh, okay. Star Wars Marvel appears with 2 months. I don't think haters understand the foundation you've built, not only of solid talent with your writers and artists and staff, but fan base. Oh, well, that's what makes it go round. You know what I mean? This stuff doesn't happen without the fan base, and it's going to continue to grow. We have a very welcoming kind of fandom here, so we're just going to keep being great, man. I'm just feeling good, man. I'm feeling so fucking good about it. I'm glad
his haters don't need to understand shit.
Yeah,
they don't. They can understand it. They can not understand it. It doesn't matter. Shit.
Yeah, that's true.
If they, when you got crabs trying to drag you down, nah.
Yeah.
No, you play in your bucket over there. He's got shit to do.
Yeah. Lost Braves fan with a 43 months says, when I saw him yell black girl magic. Best part ever.
Blood Ruth.
Blood Ruth. She would yell at black.
I've used too much. I'm getting faint. Black girl magic.
Yeah, and then she's rejuvenated, ready to go. ready to go. That easy. Most Melendez says, I just don't get EVS defense Ripper against War Campaign for attacking him, but calls Dick's legit criticism. I don't get it. Well, that's something you're going to take up with that guy for sure. The Primal one with 16 months says, Ash, congrats on the weight loss. Keep going. I love. Hell yeah. Tell them we're going to keep getting them those size smaller every time.
I had to get two size smaller.
I love it. I fucking love it. I absolutely love it. Sergey with a Canadian 5. I've looked into 14,605 possible futures where our show is woke. Is it successful in any of them? No. No. Deontay with a 5 says, how will you feel the day that one of your characters appear in Death Battle? that'd be pretty cool. We'll see that. Look, even seeing them pop up in like an animation, that we produced, it's just surreal. It's fucking surreal, man.
Mark versus Storm.
Ooh, that'd be good. That'd be really, really good.
I like when elements mix.
Yeah, that'd be good. That would be good. Marcus Henry with a 10 says, I just realized Yaira had black Air Force Ones on when facing the Alpha Corps. Bro, there's a part of Black Air Force Roundtable, EZ. There's a part of the Black Air Force Roundtable. She's got some grit to her. There's no doubt about that. No doubt about that. I'm holding an XS. This is my man's Alex. Extra small. I doubt he ever get there.
Never gonna number one, don't want to. Never want to get to that, man.
I doubt he ever get there.
I could no, I can't. Can't do that for free. No.
It says for $2 though. He says he's holding one for you at the warehouse, man. Yeah. We had Joe Music with a 5 says we need to get Jen, Sylvia, Yaira cosplay poster, the best of 3 worlds. Hey, maybe it can be a stretch goal. So Joe Music with a 5. See that, but I'm sure they'd be down. We got Dan Cotter with a 5 says, can't wait for next week. Gonna be a new era when a Chuck Dixon Ripperverse book is in customers' hands. I also request Kelly Jones for some interiors. I'm down
for anything.
Yeah, for really anything. To be completely honest,
take a cover, take interiors, take fucking anything. For Kelly.
He's so good, man. So whatever. I'd be 100% 100% down, Dan, for that. Okay. So I did want to talk about this because we did discuss it a little bit. Let me share my screen real quick. Okay. Where am I at? Let's see. Okay. So let's check this out real quick. I already did a video on it, but I do want to go through it. Titles come from New York Post. Struggling Disney hints its woke politics present risk to our reputation and brands. Let's read this. The Walt Disney Company acknowledged that its left-leaning politics may have alienated a segment of the population, putting a dent in the House of Mouse's bottom line. A recent company filing with the SEC included a reference to risk relating to misalignment with public and consumer taste. Generally, and this is what they said in the filing, our revenues and profitability are adversely impacted when our entertainment offerings and products, as well as our methods to make our offerings and products available to consumers, do not achieve sufficient consumer acceptance. Now, no shit, right? That's a corporate speak. For sure is all that is. This goes on about, Bob Iger and some silly decisions that he may have made, as well as them taking an L. But I covered a little bit about this whole story. Really, again, that's corporate speak for they understand that when you do things that piss off an audience, they might not give you money. That's a really fundamental economics. But
news to me.
But yeah, right. But one thing I will say out of that is, if that doesn't turn into action or different action as opposed to what they've been doing in the past, what fucking good is that? To know and recognize, hey, this isn't the best of ideas. What good is that knowledge if you're not going to make an adjustment to your future actions?
Not your problem.
Very true.
You're in the superhero business now. One of your competitors is self-sabotaging.
you kind of let them do their thing.
Laissez-faire, free trade, buddy.
Yeah. You kind of let them do their thing. You don't get in the way. You just kind of,
Do you know what you get when this sort of thing happens to a company?
So
you get Chuck Dixon, you get Mike Barron, you get the Soska sisters. That's what happens when things like this happen to industries.
It's a good point.
And then you'll build up because of it. The proof's already there. 3 books, over 7 million.
That's true.
You'll build up because of it, and you'll get what we just got here, which is Disney, trying as corp speak as possible to say, when we put out dog shit that people don't like, they don't buy anything. No shit.
You don't have to be an economist to understand that, right? You don't need to understand. It's just basic.
What's the saying? When does incompetence turn into sabotage? Because it almost feels like sabotage, but at the same time, when you've heard the people, because we've seen the leaks, we've seen the internal meetings.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That was a big one.
Oh yeah,
reimagining Disney or whatever.
Yeah, our not so secret gay agenda.
Oh yeah.
All this stuff, all these leaks which came out, it's all there. It's all out there. Watch it yourself, folks. You have people who want to push their own agenda while using corporate money to do so. There's no risk to them. The worst that can happen to them is they're fired, like Victoria Alonso, who is one of the biggest preponderance of what we're talking about right now. So she was a nice little scapegoat, but they had a built-in reason to get rid of her with her promoting another movie outside of the company. So that worked out for them in that regard. Oh yeah, then they had to pay her a big golden handshake out of court. Don't worry about that. But you have let the wolves in. You've brought them in. You fucking hired these people.
True.
So what do you think they're going to do when an ideologue comes in that doesn't believe in family, doesn't believe in capitalism, making money, brings with them all kinds of racial fucking racist baggage? None of this. There's no such thing as reverse racism. There is only racism.
Mm-hmm.
There is no balance of power between races, and racism is between individual to another individual. That's how it operates, or an individual to a group of individuals. That's how it operates. So when you bring them into your company, what the hell are you expecting? When you bring divisive politics into something, what do you think it's going to do? It's going to divide. It's built in with being divisive, because politics, the word politics means divide, divisive, debate, separate, segregate. That's the whole thing. So it doesn't matter what the word in front of the politics aspect is, intersectional, racial, ideological, doesn't matter. Gender doesn't matter. It's that politic word which goes on the end, because that's always going to divide. But when you don't have an agenda, when you don't have a political agenda, that's when you're not dividing. When you are understanding who your core audience is, in Disney, family is the Disney's core audience. So when you become antithetical to the family values, what do you think's going to happen?
Yeah. It's obvious. It's again, you don't need to be the smartest man in the world to understand this. But yeah, to your point, let them. It's like, thanks. I mean, there'll be some talent that'll drop off, and there's going to be a lot of opportunities growing. Which brings me to this point right here. I'm going to share this as well, because this was the last thing that I wanted to go through. Because since we're talking about failures of box offices, variety.
Oh, no.
Christmas at the box office hinges on Aquaman 2. Movie theater owners are worried. Boy,
I would be.
Everywhere around Christmas, Phoenix Theaters puts all of its chips on one major tentpole, gambling on a movie so big, so broadly appealing. It'll keep auditoriums stocked into the new year. In recent past, Midwest chain has gone all in on 2022's Avatar, 2021 Spider-Man No Way Home, 2019 Star Wars Rise of Skywalker. But this holiday season is different. For the first time in more than a decade, excluding the pandemic-stricken 2020, there's no surefire blockbuster with the potential to gross $1 billion globally to cap off the year. You can't look at the release schedule between now and the end of the year and find one movie that stands out like Avatar.
That's a ridiculous statement.
Yeah.
Because, name a movie that's comparable to Avatar.
That's true. That's a good point.
But I got a question for you.
Yeah.
You're a theater owner.
Mm-hmm.
You can have one movie. You have one theater. You can have one movie over Christmas. Would you get Aquaman 2 or would you get Iron Claw? And I mean, from a position, which one do you think is going to make more money for you?
That's See, here's the thing. And then I'm gonna tell you why that's such a good question. Because you take Iron Claw, obviously, but look at it like this. You're looking down the road, let's say a year down the line, right? You see Aquaman before made how much money? Because the first film made what?
1.2 billion.
1.2 billion, roughly. Okay. That's not fucking happening now.
No. Have you seen the projections?
No. What are the actual projections?
Oh, Jesus, man. The projections are 32 to 42 million domestic.
Okay. How much money did they spend on this? 'Cause I know
This is a $250 million
It has
movie.
to be. It's VFX heavy there and water for the fucking entire film. So, holy shit. So what did Flash open up at? You remember?
It was 55 domestic.
So this
Opened
is
at
gonna do
55.
worse than Flash. Well, the projections are.
It's projected to open worse than the Marvels. And we've seen where that is right now.
Does this have the potential to lose? Well, they didn't spend as much.
Oh, this is going to lose. I would speculate
400 million.
400. Yeah,
400 million. Okay, so let me get all right. Let me backtrack a little bit. Okay, look at it. Look at it from this perspective. Comic book shop owners. This is very similar. Comic book shop owners right now are they in a tough spot, right? The big two guys they're usually and definitely with modern entertainment, the modern comic book industry is ran by Marvel and DC. They're not putting out really stuff that's getting people excited to go, let's say, follow themselves to buy the books and or each other to buy books, and that hurts the comic book shop owners because, well, they're making money off of that. Well, at least in the theaters, they're splitting the revenue, so it's a little bit different. Because in the comic book case, they at least making the money. Well, no, it's worse because in the comic book case, the publishers already got they dime. You know what I mean? So whether you sell that shit doesn't even matter to them. So you can argue that it's even more fucked. But it's a similar case. You get what it is that I'm saying, that there's an entire economy, right, that is contingent on that exists and is so heavily reliant upon something that they don't really control, and that's the quality of a film. As well as the enthusiasm that's surrounding it, right? And I think goodwill in general with Hollywood is done. I believe that the Oppenheimers and the Barbies of the world are going to be fewer and further between. I think that's just.
But they're the ones that are actually performing.
Yeah,
Oppenheimer nearly hit $1 billion.
Right.
Barbie 1.5, 1.6 billion.
Yeah.
Napoleon, which is an Apple film. You know, it's funded by Apple. It's going to go onto Apple TV in a little bit. So that second at the box office at the moment.
Yeah, it's just, I think all together, Hollywood is it's just, there's not going to be any more consistency, right? As far as you're just not going to be shitting out these $1 billion films. So it's two things that you got to do. You got to rein in your budgets, right? I mean, that's probably number one, right? So at least you can make a little money, right? So you got to rein in the budgets. Maybe there's a lot less. I don't know where the money's going. I really don't. It might be funny money, but whatever it is, you might have to stop that for at least the near future. But that still doesn't answer the question of how do you get people enthusiastic about a film? And obviously the answer is obvious, but that does require a cultural change and shift from modern day. So how likely is that? Is again the Oppenheimers of the world and it's just like those start to feel more like a one-off than a standard.
Sure.
The standard
but
thing,
people gravitate towards quality. Right.
So they would have to make better quality stuff. But you know, you're looking at Aquaman, right? It's holiday season as you know, going back here, the holiday season is on the shoulders of Aquaman, and that's not a good shoulder to put anything on.
No.
This is an analyst here. He says, can it cut through the negative DC noise? And it doesn't look like it is. See, I would love to get your thoughts on this.
Why go see Aquaman? That to me is the question. Why? And I don't mean that from a because it's going to be shit type of perspective. You've told your audience it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Correct. They
You've done the damage. You did untold damage to the Flash, to Blue Beetle, to Aquaman. You did untold damage by telling people don't fucking matter because we got a new guy coming in and he's doing his new thing with his new characters, new world. So none of this fucking matters.
That's a good point.
There is no reason to go see it, even if you love Jason Momoa and whatnot. Oh.
That's a good point. They say with one big film, you must stock a lot of show times to meet the demands. If it doesn't work out, you end up with a lot of empty show times. Phoenix Theaters VP Jordan Hodman says, with a more diverse slate of films, we can spread our bets. For this year's holiday stretch, the gambles include Wonka, Illuminations, animated comedy, Migration, Iron Claw.
The two, I am looking forward to two films over the holiday period.
The Color Purple. Are they? Oh, it's a musical adaptation.
It's a musical adaptation, and we got a trailer for it before Napoleon. It looks like cancer. Cancer.
Fuck.
But I'm looking forward to two movies over the Christmas period. The Iron Claw.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Von Erich's ridiculously sad story. Great, but it's going to be so much fun still. Fun to see it. And Silent Night, which is the Joel Kinnaman revenge movie.
Oh yeah. That shit looks sick.
But Wonka. Hey, do you want to know how Wonka got his first shot through the power of diversity? No, I'm okay. I'm really okay. I want to see another fucking shitty animated nothingy. No, I'm okay. I'm good. Do I want to see a superhero film that doesn't matter?
Yeah.
No, I'm good. I'm fine. Might have to watch it just purely for content purposes, but I put the tickets back through the fucking tax man. So it's work. So yeah, cool. I can justify that, no problem. But in terms of as a somebody who wants to go to the cinema and have a good time, those are the only two films that I want to go to the cinema and have a good time with. There is
all of these, the ones they spent the most money is like probably not even close. It's gonna be Aquaman.
I bet Wonka cost a fortune. But that cost a fortune.
True, I can see that. But is it a $250 million fortune?
Well, the budget for Wonka, no, it's 125.
Okay. So half.
So that's going to hit 250, 325 to break even.
Yeah.
So it's got a chance.
Yeah.
Of maybe doing something.
Yeah.
But when you got a budget of 250 and you're looking down the barrel of 650,
that's gonna be rough.
How you are not giving your movies any chance. You're not. Even Blue Beetle, which was 120 million budget. Even that, I was looking at. I'm like, 120 for Blue fucking Beetle. Not even Ted Cord. And I think you'll still be hard pressed to find a normie that knows who the fuck Ted Cord is. I still think that's a very niche comic book thing that we even know who. Some of us won't even know who Ted fucking Cord is.
Mm-hmm.
So to give 120 million for that, for some guy to literally paint every Mexican as a fucking stereotype. We didn't start saying let's taco about it because we're just.
Yeah.
The film. They called his truck the Taco. He came out the fucking airport and immediately was just like, let's get tacos. The family was the most fucking stereotypical Mexican family you can. 120 million. Why are you fucking trying so hard to not give these movies? It shouldn't have got. Hey, Studio Head Az here. We'd like to make a Blue Beetle movie, and we don't even want to use Ted Cord. We want to use, the other iteration. right? Okay, Miguel from Cobra Kai. Okay, yeah. So we're looking for 120 million in budget. Is that okay to green light? I'll green light. I'll give you 35 million.
Okay.
35 million. And if it does 120 million at the box office, we pulled in a profit. We put in a little.
That seems like such a fucking obvious, like such an obvious thing. I spoke about this. I think even with the Oscars, I spoke about this. It's like, because they've done a lot of directing, and I'm like, if you make the shit make sense, a film can be extremely profitable.
Yes.
Like perhaps
Blumhouse.
Yeah, perhaps like some of the most profitable entertainment assets of all time. Just because of the nature of what it is. But yeah, you have to rein in your budget.
Do you know what you could do with a limited budget and make a very interesting hero film? Do you know which character you could take? You could take Barbara Gordon's Oracle.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you ground her. No pun intended.
Literally.
But you ground her. Yeah. She's in the wheelchair. Barbara Gordon's in a wheelchair, and you have this character piece with story, obviously, but you have this character piece of somebody who was fucking flying through the rooftops, fighting crime with the biggest fucking hero in Gotham, arguably the world bar Superman. And she's fucking done. She's been paralyzed. She's dealing with that, this complete change to her life, and finding what's my voice going to be now, because I still stand for everything that I used to. I'm broken in body, but I'm not broken in mind. Or maybe she's broken in mind to start with, and you gotta build that on. You could even don't even bring Nightwing, just bring Dick Grayson in. Bring Dick Grayson in as a character to try and be that man there for her, be that man in her life, have that relationship where they were together, and now she feel maybe she's playing with the idea of being I'm not enough for him. I can't do what you want me to do. I can't fulfill what you want me to fulfill, and just have that relationship bloom, because to Dick it doesn't matter, never mattered to him. He loved Babs. There were so many really interesting human moments that you can go to with it. There was a great story arc in that you have this defeated hero, down, out, don't know what they're doing, spirit's gone, and you build her up to become Oracle. You build her up to become the network of everything that's going on. And that, you don't need a spectacular budget for that. You could do that. You could do that 30 mil, no problem. Keep it grounded, keep it realistic, keep the talk realistic, keep the characters realistic. You want the superhero stuff? You put it on the TV. You see it on the TV. You see the little clips. If you have Dick Grayson in the Nightwing costume, that's fine. He goes out of a window, whatever it may be. You don't need to see the beating up, the swinging, the special effects, because this is about a character. This is about somebody. And the story can easily revolve around that.
Yeah.
You put 35 million into that.
I don't think a movie like that would even need that much.
Possibly not. You could make it. You could even maybe develop him to like Panic Room within the superhero sphere. People have targeted her because she's Barbara Gordon, Commissioner Gordon's daughter, and they know that she was paralyzed. So now they see her as a vulnerable target to be hit, to be kidnapped, to be exploited for the commissioner. There are so many ideas that you can play with that. The worst thing that they did with Barbara Gordon was take her out of the wheelchair, because she became infinitely more interesting when she was in the wheelchair. Infinitely.
Yeah.
Worst decision DC have done with a character in a long time was well, apart from Tim Drake sucking dick, but apart from right, okay, worst decision they've done with a character for a long time.
I agree, 100%. Yeah, they're gonna have to rein in these budgets. But I don't think they got it in them. So they're lost. But yeah, if you guys anybody out there, especially artists that gotta be falling out of this mainstream because maybe you have the wrong politics, maybe you just don't want to be a hack or work for hacks. Hit me up. Maybe we can have a conversation. Okay, let me go here. Bush and Ryu Cat with a 5 super stick. Appreciate that. We got Grandma Puppeteer with a 5. I want to know what Az is doing to get in better shape, man. It's killing it. Proud of you, dude. He said.
Much better diet, calorie control.
Yep.
And shit ton more exercise. So it's what most things boil down to, which is calories in versus calories out, but make the food nutritious, not dead calories, and get mobile. Even if you have to start off very, very small and build up, because starting off small will allow you to build up.
Oh, easy enough. Angmar with the 5. As if you had the opportunity to buy the Punisher franchise to honor and to bring back to what it was. Oh, I got you.
The Punisher is ultra violence. I'd give the Punisher to the Oscars.
Oh yeah, they can do it.
I'd give the Punisher to the Oscars. I'd buy it and give it to them and say, right, make me a fucking ultra violent movie.
They do a fucking kill.
And they would slay it. I want blood. I want excessive violence. I want sexy ladies, and I want fucking people getting their heads blown off. Boom, there you go. Do it.
Yeah.
And they'd know what the fuck to do.
And then he said he forgot to ask who you
Oscars.
Yeah, I think that makes it work. Yeah, he answered that. Zod with the SK 100 says, if you view box office as a contest, I would bet that it's a tight race for the Marvels, Indiana, and maybe even Aquaman 2 for worst this year. By the way, Doctor Who, I'm fucking done with you already from 2017. Yeah, it will be interesting to see who's going to lose the most money. It looks like the Marvels. I don't really remember where Indiana Jones ended up.
That ended up about 320, maybe 370. Indiana Jones had a colossal budget that was well over 300. It needed to hit so in the region of 800 to 900 to break even. It did about let's just say 350. So that probably lost 450. Marvel's is going to lose 5, potentially 600 million.
Yes. If it loses 600 million, that's going to be impressive.
I'm absolutely okay with it.
And to have imagine fighting with being Disney and fighting with yourself.
Yeah.
As far as what is going to be the most epic of the failures.
You got the Flash over there in the corner just going.
Yeah, like holy shit, man. At first I thought it was gonna be me.
We only lost 400 million.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
That's impressive. Appreciate that, Zod. We have Sheep sitting with a 10 says Oracle leaving the wheelchair was just as annoying as when they gave Bei Fong the earthbending abilities back. Characters are far more interesting when realities like that hit them.
Yeah, she was just a much, much better character. Well, she actually got some character. Barbara Gordon was a very bland character prior to Oracle being Oracle. And one of the reasons, when you put a character into a very specific situation, like being wheelchair bound, because they can't do the flippity flips and just rely on that, you actually really do have to concentrate on who they are as a character. And that's why she became so beloved. So it was an insane idea to take her out. Again, I would give that to the Oscars. I'll just give her that to Soska's. Right, I've got Barbara Gordon. She's recently paralyzed. She's coming to terms with not being Batgirl. She doesn't know what the fuck she's doing with her life. She doesn't think she's good. She's pushing Dick Grayson away because she feels like it's unfair to him, and she's feeling sorry for herself. And she gets targeted. She learns how to fight back, and we're going to develop her into Oracle by the end. Go, here you go, 35 million. Fuck up, go.
Yeah, there you go. Easy money.
It is. This is it is.
It's the easiest of the money, bro.
I don't even fucking write. I know nothing about put it, how to put it, and all that kind of stuff. But it just, I've read comics, I've seen films. You could just see it in your head how it can play out as a thriller, like almost like an action thriller. Jeez.
Yeah. Ted Hammond with a fire. Eric, I'm really looking forward to Ice 1 and 2 and Alpha Core coming soon. So you got that basically Riververse pack. Shout out. Said it's my Christmas gift to me. Well, I appreciate you. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love all those. You're especially gonna love Alpha Core #1 by Chuck Dixon and Joe Bennett. You're gonna enjoy that. I appreciate you being a customer. And yeah, those are gonna start getting shipped out next week. Okay, where am I at? We have The Killing Joke Shouldn't Be Canon. No, says War Wizard. We have Fernando with a 21 months says it's sad to see how far Disney Pixar has fallen. I hope we see indie studios pick up the audience they have isolated. Oh, they will. At this rate, they will. There's a lot of opportunity there. Did I read this? Oracle, it says, but as Oracle is evil, don't you know that disable equals evil?
Sorry.
Views every wheelchair person is racist. It's true.
My bad. Yeah.
I can find a stream when Ice 2 hit 1.6 million. It had your expert explanation of the multiverse. You're talking about that was a stream that I did? Shit, I don't remember. I'd have to go look that up. Okay, we have. I read this. I did read that, and then we have Mark of Reality with a 5 says, did the Saska sisters get in trouble for making a Black Widow comic that was too violent and it had Black Widow killing pedo traffickers? We've talked about this on my stream before. They kind of snuck it by. It was 2 issues in before basically they got wind of it truly, and it was too late to turn back from there. So they for sure snuck that by. And I'm so glad they did. We got to see them at their best. We got to see Black Widow be Black Widow.
Well, I mean, in all fairness to the book, it was slightly ambiguous as to exactly what was going on. There was definitely child torture going on. We physically saw that. But you could read between the lines as to other stuff that was going on, but they didn't openly say it. So, I mean, I thought they dealt with it. It's just a fucking great book, but I thought that they dealt with it. They can say, well, yeah, killing fucking pedo kid traffickers, but they did. It was done in a very allowing you, the audience, to create some of the monstrosities that were going on. But yeah, you could read between the lines. You knew what was going on.
Yeah, it was so fucking good, man. So fucking good.
It's fantastic. Absolutely.
50 Shades of Grayson with a 10. Every time y'all say Grayson, I lose my train of thought because of his name. I've been working on a novel tragic comedy for a while. Now you like to see it, Eric. Hell yeah. You will enjoy it. Trust me, sensitivity readers won't. Okay. Look, man, there's a lot of opportunities here. A lot of genres are wide open right now. A lot of creative juices are flowing. Take advantage of that. Get out there and go be great is what I advise of each and every person that has some sort of creative bone in their body. That is my position on that. Okay, so with that being said, Alpha Core #1 is almost at 1,075,000. Appreciate y'all there. As what do you got working on? Anything else cooking? Any shit TV you're gonna have to be to watch? What else you got going on?
I got a little bit of me time. Well, when I say me, I mean I can do what I sort of want time. I'm taking a month off FNT in December. So gonna get my Fridays back, which is just a nice little recharge time. I did a couple of videos last couple of days. One of them fully relating to the Doctor Who debacle, and then yesterday I did a breakdown on how very simplistically ideology is tearing fandoms apart, and because it's not rocket science stuff what they're trying to do. So yeah, go check those out. But I'm doing a bit of a palate cleanser, so today I just played some Dark Souls 3.
Yeah.
Oh, which was so nice. So tomorrow might do a little bit more Dark Souls 3 and just you know get a little bit of sanity back in the cells.
You got to do that, man. It's been fun watching your game. I always got you on, man. When I'm working, watching as play whatever he's playing, from fucking RoboCop, some weird fucking game I've never heard of, or whatever.
I
maybe
do have an apology to make though.
Okay.
On the stream earlier today, I did say if I found a woman that liked Garibaldi biscuits, I'd throw her out of the window. Now, that upset some people, so I want to apologize. I do actually like Garibaldi biscuits. Respect. And I'd throw a woman out of a window to get one. That is the truth. That is the truth. So if I offended anyone with my Garibaldi biscuit dissing, I apologize. It was just a joke. I do love Garibaldi and throwing women out of windows.
Shout out. Guys, this has been a great show. It's been phenomenal. We're at basically the 2.5 hour mark. So thank you all so much for joining us for another episode of Ribbon and Silverback. We'll be back on As channel next week. Shooting the shit. We're sure something fucking will happen from now until then.
It's never ending.
Yeah, it's never ending.
Never ending.
Something will happen. And we will have plenty to talk about going into it. I don't have anything else planned. No streams, those are random. Other than me, I got some creative NDA stuff that I'll be working on, and we're preparing ourselves for the Alpha Core fulfillment to start next week. So we thank you all so much for hanging out with us. It's a big show. Again, we had over 2,000 people here for much of the show, so appreciate y'all hanging out with us. We will be back next week again on Az's channel. But we got to get out of here. Until next time, y'all be easy. Peace out. Enjoy the rest of your day. See you.